Well, if you've clicked this video, you want to scale. Why should you listen to me when it comes to scaling an e-commerce brand? Here's one of our students in Evolve that recently hit a $100,000 day. That was on January 31st. Here's another one that actually just did $500,000 last month. That was in January. And he was actually up 268% compared to December. Here's another one that did over $1 million in January. You can see that there. I'll actually hold it a little bit closer for you. And why not? Let's have fun. Let's do one more. Here's another guy in our Evolve program that did it was $100,000 in the last 3 days. One of our brands actually is doing about $80,000 today. I think they're probably going to finish at around 90. There's about 20 minutes left. I think we're done about 85K. What I want to talk about first is I want to help you understand while I pull up this screenshot or pull up this actual live triple whale. I want you to understand there it is, actually $63,000 or $83,000 at a 6.7x. It's not bad, about 94,000 actually blended if you include Amazon. The reason why I show those numbers is because that's all that you care about, right? But the thing is that you're not doing the things that actually drive those numbers. And why aren't you doing it? I'm not a psychology major by any means, but I want to help you understand what we've kind of called the stages of cope. But ultimately, I want you to understand why you're wasting your time on a lot of the things that you're doing to try to scale your business. I want you to stop me if you've ever heard this before, or if you've ever done this, okay? If you've never done any of these, then just click off the video because it's not for you. But if you've ever thought it had to be because you're using CBO budget rather than ABO budget, or maybe you're using ABO and you thought CBO would have fixed your performance, or maybe you thought your bid type was wrong. Maybe you were running lowest cost and you thought it had to be cost cap. Maybe you thought that your audience was wrong and you thought you shouldn't be going broad, that you need to test lookalikes or you need to test interest, or maybe you thought there was something wrong with your ad account, or maybe you thought there was something wrong with the market. If you've ever had any of those beliefs, I'm going to tell you, maybe you could be right, but you know what all of those people have in common, and you know what I actually do for the brands that we scale, is we don't give a shit about any of that. We don't, because we focus on things that actually drive performance, which for 95% of brands is better marketing and better creatives. I'm telling you, I have audited hundreds, maybe at this point even like 1,000 ad accounts. I have never seen an ad account without great ad creatives scale, but I have seen a lot of terrible looking ad accounts and the most ridiculous structures you've ever seen in your life at scale because they have good ad creatives. But the truth is that a lot of you are just not good at making ad creatives. And I'm here to tell you that that is okay. But you cannot solve an ad creative problem by clicking buttons. The only button that you should be clicking is to go and buy a marketing book or go and buy more knowledge on how to suck less at making ad creatives. But other than that, there's not many buttons that are going to solve your ad creative problem. I want to help you understand how to just make better ads. And it starts with actually just completely shedding your ego, okay? And you might not think that has anything to do with creatives, but it fully does. Because so many of you look at competitor ads or look at ads and you're like, those ads suck. Like, oh, my competitor's ads are trash. Like, they're not even that good. Are they though? Because they're lapping you. Oh, this brand over here, they suck at marketing. I'm definitely going to outmarket them. Yet you're spending $100 and they're spending $10,000 a day, or add a zero if you need to. The point is that you need to shed your ego and you need to stop looking at things from the lens that you currently have. And this is the analogy that I've given to so many students in Evolve and to my own team as well that we constantly work with every single day, is that the lens that you currently look through to determine what is good and what is bad is all blurred. It's cracked. You're basically blind. Because if you knew what a great ad creative was, then you wouldn't have scaling problems. And so the thing is you have to correct that lens. And how do you correct that lens? Well, one, you first have to understand what a great ad creative looks like. So whenever you can get insights on, wow, okay, what is a great ad creative? Well, if you ask me, a great ad creative is an ad creative that actually performs. I don't care about how it looks. I don't care about what it says. I mean, I do after I start to process learnings on it. But the thing is that you have to, again, completely remove any kind of bias of what you think good or what you think bad is. Good is ads that perform. Bad is ads that don't perform, period. We have seen the ugliest videos of literally somebody like filming on like a blurry, like crack phone, right? Just them talking about the most random stuff. And we're like, there is no way this ad is going to perform. And sure enough, it absolutely hits and goes crazy in the ad account. And do you know what we do every single time? Rather than saying like, oh no, whatever, that ad was just a fluke. We study that like you wouldn't believe. Like we spend hours trying to understand that ad. And we do that because we need to correct our lens that we're looking through to judge good or bad. Because what you don't realize is that underneath every great ad, no matter how it looks, there's something about it that is actually resonating with the people who are seeing it. And so you have to understand what that piece is. And until you can look at creatives and understand why they're working, you will constantly struggle to make winning ads because you just don't know what a winning ad is, right? How many of you make ad creatives right now thinking, oh, this ad's gonna flop? Nobody does that, right? Otherwise, why would you make the ad creatives? So, I mean, and if you are doing that, then you need to you got bigger problems. You need to like reset your standards. But the truth is, and what's funny, honestly, and not to side quest too hard here, most of you, the ad that you think is going to flop is actually the one that wins. But yet you're like, you don't correct your lens. You're just like, oh, whatever, right? But the point is here is that you have to make sure that whenever something like that happens, you study it and you make sure you analyze it to, again, correct your lens so that you can do more of that and less of all of the stuff that you used to think is good. Honestly, I have changed so much as a marketer over the last 2 or 3 months because I have just completely put my ego to the side when it comes to ads. I used to think that certain ads were perform way better and I was like, oh no, this video is way better than that or whatever about that ad. But I'm telling you, after I've made this switch to just completely shed my ego and stop caring about what an ad actually looks like and start caring more about how it performs, that is what is skyrocketing our actual ad accounts and our actual performance for brands. We recently scaled a brand from doing $10,000 a day to $55,000 a day in a matter of 3 months. It does not happen by testing ABO versus CBO or audiences or cost caps. That happens from creating great ads. And for you to create great ads, you have to understand what a great ad is, which most of you don't. And then from there, you have to understand what to look for in that ad. So many of you just stop at like, oh, this is a good hook or this is a good image, but you don't actually understand what it's doing to the customer. And that's the layer that you have to dive deeper into of understanding your customers. And if you've been to the channel before, you've heard me talk about this, but the more that you understand your customers, the better. And it's that simple. So many of you right now are potentially, maybe you're not doing research at all, but hopefully you're doing some kind of research to understand your customer. You have to go deeper. And then from there, you have to analyze winning ads. There's no other way to understand how to make a winning ad than to look and study winning ads, okay? And when you study them enough and you start to pick them apart and you start to look at commonalities and you start to look at things that, okay, this not just, oh, they say this in the hook or they use a TikTok response bubble. It's what they're saying, how they're saying it, how the ad is congruent. All of these things, you need to study them to actually be able to make more creative. So the moral of the story here, to save this video from going any longer or being more than it needs to be, is that you have to correct your lens for what a good ad is and for what a bad is. And most importantly, you need to shed your ego on how you feel about ads because it does not matter. The only thing that matters is how your customers feel about the ads. And again, if you understand your customers more, then you're going to actually make better creatives. And so that's it. That's all I want to talk about. It was very, very top of mind. I actually just moved into a new apartment. I still have stuff all over the place. I've been living out of a suitcase, so I've been wearing the same hat and same clothes for the last month and a half here. But I'm finally settling back in here. And so if you're an existing viewer to the channel, we're going to get back to some more technical content rather than just Spencer ranting content. But if you like this content, let me know down below. But the moral of the story is that so many of you are trying to solve your creative problem by clicking buttons, and that is just not the way to do it. Again, shed your ego, accept the fact that you're just not that good at making ads right now, and that's okay because you're going to get better by analyzing more winning ads and understanding that good is ads that perform and bad is ads that don't perform. And this does not mean just go and copy, winning ads or ads that you think are winning. I want you to actually understand them. And if you have no idea how to break down winning ads, you have no idea how to properly understand them, that's why we have Evolve and that's why we do the coaching that we do. And that's how we've been able to help so many people. And I don't want to just make this video seem like I'm just pitching our program. But honestly, the thing is that so many people, after even surveying and asking the students in our program, they just don't understand what makes a great ad. Because the thing is most of of us aren't marketers. We're just people that jumped online to start an online business, right? And we learned Facebook ads, and now we learned how to build a Shopify store, but we don't actually understand anything about marketing, right? If I was to survey my group and ask them how many of them actually have a marketing degree, I could probably count them on one hand, right? So the thing is you have to understand the fundamentals, and you actually have to learn how to become a marketer and not just a Facebook ads buyer that's clicking buttons all day, okay? The marketers are the ones that are absolutely crushing it right now. The ones who are still stuck trying to media hack their way there and rip creatives all day or just spam test things and have no idea what's going on are the ones that are getting lapped, okay? The ones that are actually scaling are the ones that are marketing and doing it at a high level, because to be honest, the bar for Facebook ads and some of these platforms is so low. You have to understand how to become a better marketer. You have to understand how to make better creatives. And again, most importantly, if you can take anything away from this, shed your ego when it comes to this and just focus on performance over anything else. If you enjoyed this video and you want to hear more rants like this, or actually more technical breakdowns, again, you can click the subscribe button if you want. I've been trying to run up the subscribers recently. We just hit 3K, which is insane. And I want to say thank you to everybody who supports me here. Honestly, YouTube is something that I really enjoy because I feel like it's a place for me to not only document, but also share just what is top of mind and what I'm going through and experiences and all that kind of stuff. And if you find it valuable, amazing. If not, I'm sorry. But with that said, again, if you want help and you want to learn how to make better ad creatives, we do have the Evolve program. There's a link below. You can go and check it out. There's also a free version for those of you that are doing like less than 50 to 100K per month with your brand and you just don't have the money. I've been there. So there's a free version there. You can go and try that out. Or if you're also a brand that for some reason just enjoyed listening to me rant and you want to work with my team, we are being very, very strict with the brands that we bring on, but you can click the application down below and we'll definitely take a look at things and see if we can help. But with all that said, I'll leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll hopefully see you for a little bit more organized and a little bit more professional video coming at you next week.